I'm not a leader. I'll make you one, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Millionth Show. My name is James. I'm joined here again with Henry, and we're here for the Suicide Squad rank and review. We're on the penultimate episode of our series of Batman franchise films. How do you
Yeah.
feel?
I mean, given what's coming next week, I feel really good. But um, with this film, I was like half dreading, half like hopeful of this because I'd had a lot of people said this is actually really good. I mean, the fact that Will Smith isn't in it, no offense to him, but
we,
I was
just to be clear,
interested to
we,
see a
we
lot of,
both watched this for the first time this week. Okay,
yeah,
so you know,
yeah,
and this was going off the back of fucking the original Suicide Squad, which was, literally made it into our um,
yeah,
don't recommend films to
yeah.
watch.
Don't
So
don't go anywhere near
hopes
this
weren't
film.
high for this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've got to say this is. I mean, this for me personally was a good film. I think. I mean, in comparison to the previous one, I feel though I might be suffering from like sort of the Justice League effect, where you had a film that was originally made that people hated, and then they learned how to actually make a correct one. Given the fact, I mean, this one especially, it had like very little interference from Warner Bros. So, take that for what it is, and the fact that they couldn't recast Will Smith in here because he actually wasn't able, like he had a conflicting scheduling. So
What? And they tried to recast him.
I think it was originally planned.
Fuck you know.
Yeah, but that was saved.
I'm honestly not convinced this is a better film than Suicide Squad. Actually, yeah, this is. I mean, at least with Suicide Squad, the thing is, right? We're doing Batman films, right? And this is no Batman in it. I'm not even sure, apart from Harley Quinn, that any of these are even Batman villains. I think Polka
Well,
Dot
you've
Man
got
might be.
yeah, Polka Dot Man. I think is like one of those sort of like is literally he was included because like the dumbest idea for a DC character ever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's another one called
Ratcatcher. I mean,
Right
she
Hand Man or something.
well
Oh, is
Ratcatcher.
Ratcatcher a Batman villain?
Well, Ratcatcher 2, well, is the daughter of Ratcatcher, but Ratcatcher, like the dad, is actually a Batman villain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, played in this by Taika Waititi, but you know, um, I don't know. I much preferred the casting in this as well. I really enjoyed John Cena's like piss take of Captain America and his character Peacemaker. So, and especially Idris Elba in this. I don't know if you liked him.
Obviously, yeah. Listen, Idris Elba is my guy, man. Like, I'll watch anything with him in it, and I was so relieved. I was a little bit worried going into this film that they were going to make him do an American accent. I was like quite fearful of that. And he started speaking. He's doing his like, he's got like proper like, Cockney accent and shit,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
I fucking love him. Obviously, like, I'm the number one fan for Luther, which is obviously like a series where he really like rose to fame, sort of thing. So, if you haven't seen that, ladies and gentlemen, please watch Luther. It's fucking better than anything you'll see, man. Um, but anyway, yeah, I mean, Luther was definitely. I mean, sorry, Idris Elba was definitely a standout in this film. Like massive upgrade on Will Smith, but
Well,
wasn't enough to save it for me. I mean, when I think about this film and I think about Suicide Squad, you know, obviously the standouts for me watching Suicide Squad is I like watching Jared Leto's Joker, and that's pretty
especially
much
his
it.
laugh.
This one is like, oh yeah, Idris Elba is a cool actor, but he's playing a character I don't care about in a film I don't care about. The plot is better for sure, and the writing's slightly better. But again, I just think they just went down the same road of gimmicks with like stupid like choices like Shark Man, whatever the fuck
Yeah,
that
but
is.
this is
Like,
the thing. Like the entire point of like Suicide Squad as like
mm,
its original concept is all these like they just get all these like expendable like lower like C tier sort of like villains who aren't even they can't be classified as super villains. They're just like
yeah,
they're scraping the barrel so they can just send them to die off in some like shithole like somewhere across the world. If to further I don't know America's ambitions like in this one. And I think, like, especially they picked some of the like the biggest piss takes ones, and they actually are like self-aware about in the previous one you had like Captain Boomerang and so on, like, but
But he
if
was in this again, for fuck's sake. I know they killed
yeah,
him off at
yeah,
the
but
beginning, still, like, I just didn't need reminding of him. Do you
they
know what I mean?
killed him. That's like the best part. I was like, anyway, we need to get into this really because it's quite straightforward. I feel, but
Yeah, but I still want to marinate in some of the choices that they made because I was really. Thing is, like, I was definitely dreading watching this film, and then you watched it earlier in the week than I did, and you were like, "Oh yeah, this is actually not bad."
yeah.
So I was like, "Oh okay." So I became a little
Hang on,
bit more
give me a minute.
optimistic, and I literally hated this film from the beginning. I was like, "This is shit." It does. What I will say is, it does get better as it goes along, but there's still so many stupid
One
elements that
James,
just
one
take me
minute,
out
just
of it.
1 minute.
I just think that this film had a lot more potential than Suicide Squad, because the plot
I
was a lot
can't.
better, and they had like a very strong leading actor in Idris Elba, for example. But they still threw it away. They still like ruined it with just stupid gimmicks, trying to be like a Marvel film. And obviously, they're just doing their best because obviously Idris Elba is one of the plays one of the characters in Thor. They hired the director that did Guardians of the Galaxy. So obviously they're like very blatantly still trying to recreate Marvel films, which I hope this is the last attempt at them doing that. Um, and just close off this Snyderverse forever, man. Like, I'm really done with it. I'm really done with these. I mean, he executive produced this one, right? So I'm really really not sure this was an upgrade on original Suicide Squad. I mean, we'll definitively decide that when we rank them,
Yeah,
but I don't know. The strengths of Suicide Squad, you had Amanda Wallace, who is obviously still in this film, but way more toned down and way less
yeah, that was
imposing
true. I did
and
feel like she
impactful.
wasn't.
I didn't really. They kind of did her dirty, I think, in this film a bit. She wasn't really the presence that she was in the original film. That
Yeah,
was
but that's
so
because all the other ones were
effective.
like such shit tier like acting then and like roles that she kind of filled that void.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and this film, by the way, I don't know if you're aware, fucking flopped hard, man, in the box. I mean,
Well, that's because they did release it at the same time, like on HBO Max as well as in theater, which really pissed James Gunn off. But
oh really? Well,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, it was released during COVID and all that shit, but still, like, I just, I mean, this is a film we didn't need, and they didn't need to make. This is the thing. It's just a waste of time. It's just a film we didn't need. Suicide Squad was bad. Leave it there. Leave it to burn. Do you know what I mean? Didn't
I don't
need a
know. I think
remake.
this film
But
is like entirely harmless. I feel because it's like with
yeah,
like
it's harmless, but it's pointless.
yeah, but
There's no
it's
need for
like
this film.
this is a film that you watch with your mates or something because it's not like
Nah.
it's not like oh I have to really sit down and watch this and like sort of soak in. It's just like it's just a sort of fun kind of stupid action film you can just watch.
This is like Suicide Squad, but like off-brand Suicide Squad, man. It's just like none of these villains are even. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. I will never watch this again. That is for
Well,
sure.
that's the point.
I
They're
did
not meant
enjoy
to
it.
be like oh yeah, this is my A tier villains. They're meant to be the people you can just send out to die.
Well, that's one. They made some decisions in this film that did make it good. I mean, they weren't afraid to kill off a lot of characters, so
Yeah,
that's
from the
that's good.
previous
I
one.
think that's always like something that films are very afraid of doing. Like, oh, I'm afraid of killing him off, or if I do, you have to bring him back at the end or something. Um, I like that this film. Well, obviously, it begins by killing off half the
Oh
people,
yeah,
and then throughout the film, it does. A lot of people die, which is, I mean, it's good, right? It's
it's kind of
impactful
in the
for the
name.
for the story, but I don't know. It didn't make the film any. And the thing is, it obviously a huge what's the word used, gripe. Huge
Yeah,
gripe I had with Suicide Squad was the amount of licensed music they used in it,
but
and
this one is
obviously,
more appropriate, I
yeah,
think.
they use far less, but it's still completely unnecessary. There's a scene, um, sort of towards the middle of end of the film with Harley Quinn. It's a fantastic sort of action fight scene, but it's just ruined by this fucking licensed music. This song, when that could have been a million times better if it just had like a badass soundtrack to it. Like it's
Yeah,
like
that's true.
it would have been imagine that with like some kind of like Wonder Woman theme or some shit like that just going on and like fucking shit up. Do you know what I mean? Like it would have made that scene from like what it is, which is like whatever, like scene, like it's cool but it's ruined, to something I would go back and watch on YouTube on a regular basis and just like really enjoy that moment. I can't do that. I want to just rip. I want to get that scene, rip off the soundtrack, and just remix it to some like Hans Zimmer music or something, man, where it's like actually good. And it's just a shame because this film again is one of those where it comes again with like a lot of these Snyderverse films. It comes very close to having like actual really good potential, but just it it felt like they had the ability to do that, but they just didn't want to. They just wanted no. We're going down this Marvel route. We're not taking ourselves seriously. We're still making this into a piss take, which is a pity because it
But the
actually had
entirety,
a lot
but
of
the
potential.
entire point of like the original Suicide Squad, like that like John Ostrander sort of like wrote in like his original comic series, is meant to be a piss take. It's not meant to be like when you watch like a Batman film and it's serious and so on, and you're meant to invest in the villains and so on. And it's literally just like you're just here for the ride, which is why I feel like as I don't know, it depends if you're going in like expecting certain things. It's like I mean, you're probably gonna be let down by like, oh, this isn't like, an artistic film or anything like that. It's just,
Yeah, well, that's for fucking sure. I was really disappointed as well because in the credits, the pre-credits for the film, I saw Sylvester Stallone build, and I was like, sick. Like, oh, he's gonna like pop up somewhere, and then he
yeah.
didn't, and then
He's,
he's just the voice for the shark man. Like, what the fuck, man? Why would you do
yeah,
that?
I don't know. It was kind of like, I mean,
Very disappointing.
James Gunn was like to him, and he was kind of afraid to approach him to ask him for this, but then he's like, oh yeah, well, it's what's like. He asked, like, oh yeah, what's the role? And he's like, well, it's kind of a big sort of chubby human-eating shark, and then Stallone just said like anything for you, brother. Apparently, um,
Yeah, I feel like I'm because I'm a huge fan of Sylvester Stallone, man. Like I've been watching like the Rocky films recently. I rewatched Rambo and shit. And I was like really hyped to see that. Oh shit, I didn't know he was in this film. Like, what the fuck? Oh, who's he gonna be? Like, he's just the voice for the fucking dumbest character in the whole film. So that was disappointing. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, to be fair, when I found out like, oh, he's like Sylvester Stallone, I was like, oh, well, But I don't know. I didn't think. I mean, that was kind of waste opportunity. But maybe he didn't have time to do an actual role in it. But I
Yeah, go.
think I don't know. I don't know. I think we both went into this like completely differently, and I think that's one of the big differences. And as well
Yeah,
as like
that's your fault. You were like, you actually gave me some hope in it. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
well, I was told this is actually not bad, and I think it's not bad. So it's not like the greatest film ever, I will say, but
Certainly fucking not, mate.
it's just like this is like if they made like fucking Italian Job for supervillains, kind of, you know.
I'm really, yeah. You know what? The problem is as well. I think with me is that I'm really tired of these fucking films where it's like, oh, meet the crew, Ocean's 11 style. Like, oh yeah, oh, I'm here, I'm this guy. This is my backstory. We're gonna team up, do a heist, do a takedown, whatever. I'm really sick of these fucking films. This film reminded me a lot of La Casa de Papel, Money Heist, right? That series. Um, and I think there's even. I was just trying to look for the actor that plays the Colonel, like the. I can't remember what his character's name is or anything, or even if he is a Colonel, but he's like one of the guys torturing Harley Quinn, right? Like the guy in
Oh
charge.
yeah, so yeah, the insane. There's like two colonels. There's the insane one and the well,
Yeah,
there's
Rick
one which is
Flag.
basically Fidel Castro and the other one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is just like the most obvious fucking Cuba rehash. I just don't know the point of this film. It's just a mishmash of like, and the fact that it flopped as well. At least Suicide Squad did well, like there was some kind of justification. It wasn't a good film, but at least it was like it meant something to someone, man. This film, like, I can't imagine anyone like ever rewatching. This deserved to flop. I'm glad it fucking has because it means they will never make another Suicide Squad film. I really hope that, man. Like, no, I'm really done with it. Just like they brought back Rick Flag. Rick Flag was a lot better in this film.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
He was a
saying. He's
lot
he's
better.
he's a lot better in this, and he was happy because of it.
Yeah, but I just didn't need to see it. I didn't care. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. Oh, great, he's like, now he's way better. Do you know what I mean? Like, Harley Quinn came back, and maybe we should get
She's
into it. And
better
we
in
can
this
just
as
discuss
well.
these one by.
Like I don't know.
Right. So it opens with this guy in prison, this unnamed villain. I didn't bother looking up any of
Yeah,
these guys. Or
Savant.
like, sorry, who?
He's Savant. He's kind of like a worst case scenario, like Bruce Wayne, who kind of like I mean he's not actually Bruce Wayne, obviously. He's just like a guy who inherited loads of money and
Oh,
decides to become like a vigilante, but then he like he just does it for like kicks and so on. But then when Batman tells him to fuck off, basically, because he's doing it for himself, he just turns to basically just doing basic crime,
what,
and
like
he like
killing a bird?
yeah.
But yeah, there was just like
Well, he's
I
in
was
prison.
instantly like, I was waiting to see is he gonna kill that bird, and I was like, oh yeah, he did. Like, great. That's really like fucking like what's the point?
Yeah,
You
but
see,
they get through fast with these intros, to be fair, unlike the previous one.
thank fuck, yeah, man. Well, because everyone's already seen Suicide Squad, and I guess I hope it. So I think they're just comfortable with the fact that they can just go in without having to fully introduce everything. So yeah, there's just like, oh, Amanda Wallace is there, kicks down the door. She's like, yeah, fucking, like this is the team. Just outlines the plot, but like in a tenth less of the time in Suicide Squad. Um, we get to see her team as well, like her fucking like bunch of redditors, man, like all betting and stuff, on
Oh
like
yeah, that was
who's
good
gonna.
fun seeing like the seeing
Nah,
like the old
just
stuff.
that was cringe for me. I just didn't need that.
Yeah, but like in a place like this, like they're all like sending these like shit bags of like villains out to die. Like obviously they'll be betting on it. Although to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's just because if that was where it was left, that's fine. But
then Amanda turns
they
up.
play too much of a role, and just like later on in the film they get more. It's just becomes stupid. I just needed that going on in the background. Amanda Wallace tells them, shut the fuck up and then continue about it. I wanted to see as much of Viola Davis as possible, and we barely see them. When we do, it's just like they're just like,
Yeah, it's not as good to be fair, I will say.
no, not at all. Anyway, yeah, we get the same Rick Flag, but he's put on a lot more muscle and he's got a personality now.
Yeah,
Presumably, he's
I
broken up
mean
with
to
the
be fair,
Enchantress as well.
last one wasn't so much of like his fault because he kind of he
Yeah,
got like
it's not.
to do his own thing kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Presumably, he's broken up with the Enchantress by now, so
Yeah.
that's not addressed. But yeah. Anyway, we just get this cringe walkout in front of like an actual US flag, like one that fills the screen. They're all
Yeah,
like,
so that's the whole point. Like, I don't know how you can't see this as like clearly parodying and shit.
I know, but I don't need it. I don't need to see that. It wasn't amusing. It was just like, oh, is this what's happening again? Am I just, like, I can't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. I'm sorry, I can't give the creator of these films any benefits of the doubts anymore. I'm just watching. I'm like, really, fuck me, man. Um, they've just destroyed all my trust I have in them, man. Fuck Warner Brothers. Anyway, I mean, for
Warner
fuck's
Brothers
sake,
had nothing to do
I've
with
written
it,
down just here
basically.
Weasel. There's a Weasel man here, and
Yeah,
it's
that's the
like,
whole point. He's like, these are just people that are just gonna kill off. Like, fuck them.
I know, but you don't know that when you're watching the film. So
I
I'm
know,
just
but
like,
it makes it
oh,
so
really?
much
They're
better
doing
when you
this
actually
again.
see it. I was like, so I like, because I was watching this with my mate. I was like, oh yeah, man, I really hope they kill all these lot. And then when that payoff comes, it's like so good.
I know, but the problem is, right? Okay, so they introduced us back to Weasel. No, sorry, not back to Weasel, but back to Boomerang, Harley
Pete
Quinn.
Davis.
Harley Quinn in actually like a dignified outfit, which was something. Um, Weasel man, some alien girl, load of bullshit, man.
Yeah,
The
we
fucking
got
the
fucking Pete
Trident
Davidson
guy,
and SNL here.
yeah, just shit throwaway villains, right? Um, and yeah, like they all jump out of the plane. Weasel dies straight away, and basically they're going on some like basically Cuba to like take down the government, whatever, and then they get mowed down basically.
Yeah, I
Apart,
get to see Captain Boomerang's head on a stick, man. Who doesn't want to see that? Like
that's,
I wrote like the first note I wrote in this was I hope Captain Boomerang dies, and he does.
yeah, you got your wish, but like
They must have gotten a fucking cheer
not
and like
I just don't. No, I just don't care. Yeah, and the problem is right is as well. Okay, oh, you get what's his name? Kim Kardashian's new fucking
Pete
victim.
Davidson, like,
Yeah, man, didn't need to see him either.
oh, I was like, I was gonna actually, when I saw him, I was like, fuck this, and then I was like, he died, and I was like,
Exactly.
thank
Yeah,
fuck.
he dies, but it's like just didn't need to see his fucking face anyway.
Yeah, but then when you get to see him like mowed down in like the first five
No,
minutes.
I don't. I just don't need to be reminded of them. Just get me straight to Idris Elba, man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No,
don't
but
waste.
I think the fact that they like give you this shit team, it's like, oh fuck, it's this again. But then they kill them off, and it's like, all right, here are the people you actually want to see. I think
Yeah,
that makes it
I'll
better.
give you that. But the problem is, okay, is that okay? Well, let's just finish off this scene, and then I'll get to the problem with it. So yeah, they're all getting mowed down. You do just get a little bit of like, it's. By the way, you were right, man. This film is fucking violent, mate. It's fucking gory, but like, not in an entertaining way. It's more like in just like a Quentin Tarantino way. It's just like there splatter some blood on the camera. It's not like, oh, it's not like doesn't gross you out. It's just like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
like
like, oh, I can't wait to see
it's
someone
just
like
over the top.
remove their
That's
own
all it is.
limbs.
Yeah, it's just over the top, you know. It's just like so obviously CG. Like when Boomerang slices that guy's head and it like just slides off, man. I'm just like, okay, cool, great. Um, anyway, and then obviously the main whatever the first guy that we saw because he killed the bird, he dies because his head explodes from Waller, and then like you see the payoff with like the bird picking his brains out. So
Well, you get to see Waller blow someone up, you know.
yeah, we get to see that. And then we get to see Idris Elba, Bloodsport, and his guys walking up onto the beach. And you're like, oh, sick. And then this is the problem. This is why I was like, I wasn't relaxed at this point. I've seen
Yeah.
everyone killed off, and I'm like, okay, good. But then it's like 3 days earlier, and I'm like, fuck. We're gonna have to see it all. We have. This isn't. Do you know what I mean? They
What
just
do you mean? Like, as in, like, you have to see what got them to this point.
Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, am I gonna have to see like I know they're dying, but now I have to continue seeing them. Luckily it transpires that fucking we don't see much of them anyway, but it's still just like enough where I'm like on the edge of my seat, but for the wrong reasons where I'm like, oh fuck, are they gonna come
Yeah,
back?
but it's like, oh, well, you know they're dead, so you don't have to worry about
No,
them.
but you don't know that because it's 3 days earlier. So okay, even if they are dead, right? Like you're 3 days earlier, so like maybe the film's just the 3 days leading up to that, and you get to I don't know, like
Well, of course it wouldn't be.
I don't trust the fucking creators of Suicide Squad. I don't trust anyone
Yeah,
which
but this
has
isn't even by
Zack
the same
Snyder
person.
branded on the fucking credits of the film, mate. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
this is James Gunn, not the previous one. So, I
Yeah,
mean, especially Guardians of the Galaxy is accredited for like some very like relatively like acclaimed films. So,
I don't give a shit, mate. Like, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy?
no, no, not that one, not the first one. No.
Well, either way, like I know this guy directed both of them, but either way, it's just not something I just can't believe. Like, I agreed to watching this fucking film, man. Um, they anyway. Whatever. So it's 3 days earlier. We see Idris Elba. He's scrubbing the floors and scrubbing the toilets and shit, man. Um, and Amanda Waller comes in. And no, sorry, he's got a visitor, right? So he's going to visit the daughter, and I'm like, again, it's
You think
just like
it's
this
this
film's
Will
just playing
Smith
with me
shit
all the
again?
time. It's like, oh, great, we're gonna get another Will Smith dynamic. Do you know what I mean? Have you literally just found another black guy to lead your fucking film? Just rehashed him a bit, so instead of Deadshot, it's Bloodsport. It's just like it's just embarrassing. Do you know what I mean?
No, but it's different this time, isn't it? Clearly,
Yes, it
it's
is
not like,
different, but they
oh, I
just
love
didn't.
yes,
I
oh,
don't
I
need
love
the
you.
daughter. I don't need the daughter meat hook thing in there, man. It's just like the first 10, 15 minutes of this film give me no reassurances that this is going to be a good film or even a film that's any better than Suicide Squad. I'm
Yeah,
just
but the
like,
daughter's in there for
oh
like two
shit.
minutes, and it's
Yeah,
like
but
scene
I don't
together.
know that at the time. I don't know Pete Davidson's in it for 2 minutes. I don't know that Boomerang's in it for 2 minutes. They
Well,
just
what
have them there just to keep you nervous. Like, oh fuck, like is this going to be the same thing again? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not satisfied by the
Nah,
fact it's
I don't know how he didn't figure out in like the first 5 minutes that oh well these guys clearly aren't turning up again since I saw their heads roll.
Yeah, I know that, but they because it starts with the film and then it goes 3 days earlier, and then you do see Pete Davidson. He's
I
like
know, but
back.
then this is clearly just it just sets up the stuff on
Yeah,
what's going to happen on their mission, or
yeah,
like why they're going there, and they obviously need to introduce who the fuck is Bloodsport, aka Deadshot 2, and who the fuck is Peacemaker, aka Captain America IRL, and so on and so forth, and fucking Polka Dot Man.
yeah. Really needed that. Um,
Well,
whatever.
they're like
So
really brief. It's just like Polka
yeah,
Dot guy,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
shoots
know.
me.
It's just it just didn't need it. Um, Anyway, so Idris Elba and his daughter, they have a bit of a fucking back and forth, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a bad guy," blah blah blah. We do get probably the best bit of this film, which is, well, the best bit so far for sure is Idris Elba versus Viola Davis. Man, this is
Yeah,
something I'll
exactly.
pay to see, man. And and yeah, they're like they have like a proper. I wish this scene could have gone on a bit longer, or like there was a bit more around this, But it's still very cool. This is like obviously, you know
Yeah, like
like
she's
not a power
staring.
couple, but the opposite. It's just like fucking loggerheads going against each other. It's just great to see those two actors on screen, like fucking facing each other. It's great.
Yeah, it's like she's
Um,
staring him right down. Like he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got like a pen to your neck," and she's like, "Don't give
yeah,
a shit."
yeah. She's like, oh, it's brilliant pair of them like against each other. And he's, she's like, yeah, you're gonna lead these guys. He's like, oh, I'm not a fucking leader. And she goes, I'll make you one, And I'm like, oh, nice, like,
Good on you.
that's my Amanda Wallace, man. Just like fucking shut the fuck up, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so anyway, she's basically blackmailing with the daughter, blah, 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 sort of like standard shit. Then it's meet the team, so we get to see John Cena as Peacemaker.
Or
So,
pissmaker, as some say.
yeah, but no one said that,
No, he calls him pissmaker at some point.
does he?
Yeah.
I was looking out for that because you mentioned it, and I didn't see it, so whatever.
Well, peacemaker here is like, for those who aren't, the biggest American patriots or fans of, like a kind of dorky character like Captain America. I thought I really enjoyed this like character Peacemaker. Just it's like a whole piss take of the U.S. military just goes in, gonna do it for democracy and kills all the natives, so on and so forth. And he's just
Mm.
a massive cunt anyway.
Yeah, but isn't that basically the guy in The Boys? We've already got that. We don't,
Oh, Homelander.
Yeah.
Not really. It's not the same because he's like, like kind of if Superman was real, he'd be a massive egotistical.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Fair enough. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen The Boys, to be fair. But I don't know. I just don't need these. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't
Um,
know. I really enjoyed this character. I'm not gonna lie. Just him and Idris Elba.
I didn't. Yeah, he was okay. I liked him because of his dynamic with Idris Elba, but that's because of Idris Elba. Otherwise, I don't really
Yeah,
give
like they
a
even
shit.
have their own like their like sort of like fucking tit tat
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah. They've got
Where
like a
like,
beef going on
oh,
in the contest. It's
it's
like,
like,
oh,
oh well,
this guy's
I'm
got a
shit
unique set
with
of
you,
skills,
sir.
and it's the same unique set of skills that Idris Elba's got. So it's like, oh, okay. Um, Anyway, we get to meet the rest of the team. Shark Man, is that his name, or I don't? What's his official villain name? I just wrote down Shark Man.
Yeah, it's got like a funny name. The shark guy.
Just
Um,
fucking ridiculous. What can you tell me anything about this that I've
I mean, I
about
think
him?
he was like originally introduced as like as like a Superboy like villain, but then he ended up becoming an Aquaman villain because that makes way more sense.
Hmm.
King Shark, but he doesn't
Okay.
really have. I mean, he doesn't really have like superpowers, so to say. He's just kind of like a shark that can talk,
Yeah, he's just comic relief, and it's just like
just dumb muscle.
who I don't know why this is like Killer Croc but worse, and I didn't think that was possible.
Really?
Yes,
But Killer Croc is
obviously.
like more of a sort of like a well-known villain where it's like, they fucking threw him in the gutter and it's like, ah. But with King Shark, it's like, yeah, I don't really care too much about it, so I don't really mind if they make him kind of like, he's just like like a moron who can talk. That's about it. And who's like acts as their muscle, bit like, almost a bit like Bane from Batman and Robin.
Yeah, but Lee, I don't know. This is just so ridiculous. It's just
Although to
not
be fair, yeah, I think this film could have done without him.
exactly. It just takes me out the scene. You could have had anyone bring back. You know what? This film would have been better if they just brought back Killer Croc. And that's really bad that I'm saying
Nah,
that.
I
This
don't think
Yeah,
Killer
Killer
Croc would
Croc
have
would have
been
been
just worse.
better, and Killer Croc was shit. So that says everything.
No, I don't think Killer Croc would have been a best replacement.
Whatever, man. I'm not. It's not a hill to die on for me. We've got as well Ratcatcher 2. She was good actually. I didn't mind her in this film. To be fair, she was like, you know, her power's quite interesting. But I think, okay, so we meet her, and the next person we meet is Polka Dot Man. I think, right?
Yeah,
And you know what I like about him? He's played by that guy who's like in. He plays like the creep, like weirdo incel in everything. He's in
yeah.
Prisoners. He's in The Dark Knight, and he's in. Don't even forget the third one now. Shit, I forgot.
Prisoners.
Ah, he's in Blade Runner 2049 as well. He always plays like strange, like weird. He's like he's a great actor.
Schizo,
And
yeah.
he always has me like fucking, like a
Oh,
bit
yes.
worried, like what's gonna
Yeah.
go on, man.
But
But
it's interesting as well because like the guy, yeah, I think it's David. His name's like David Dasmalchian or something like that. I
what,
don't
the
know the
actor or
pronounce
the?
it. The actor.
Okay.
Um, but he like for a lot of his life, I mean, he had like some like skin condition, right, which kind of made him, which and he was like made fun of as a kid, like they call him like polka dot and so on, which kind of helped him sort of like relate to Polka Dot Man in a way, as like kind of dumb as it sounds,
Oh,
but
for
like
real?
for someone who gets like who has to like deal with this, on daily day-to-day life, he is like, like I think he tried to like kill himself at some point because of it. But like now he like kind of, he was able to sort of embody that role a bit in this, which, well, after I only found this out after seeing it, I was like, damn, such a ridiculous character. It's like, oh, got a bit of investment for him there.
Yeah, that I didn't know that. That's pretty fucked
Although
up.
one thing I will say that I
Yeah,
did find really weird with him is like there was like the offhand joke where he's like, "Oh yeah, I do kill people rarely, but when I do, I think of my mum."
yeah,
Um, and then I was like, "Okay, fair enough." But then they got like every time he does do it, you see his vision where he sees everyone as his mum. And it's like, okay,
yeah.
I
What the
do not
fuck
want to
was
see.
that, man? That was just stupid. That was just
You
really.
spent so much money on CGI for that. Why?
And the thing is, yeah, this is a little gripe I've got as well, right? Ratcatcher 2 and Polka Dot Man have such OP powers, which they use at just the most select moments. This film could have been done within 10 minutes if they just did their thing, like they just combine their powers and that's it. Like, do you know what I mean? Their
Not
powers are
really. Polka Dot
sick.
Man says,
Yeah. Ratcatcher can control every rat in the immediate area, right? Just fucking swarm the swarm. That is so OP. Like, and it's not. And when she does use it, it's overwhelmingly useful. But she doesn't use it very often. And it's just like, well, it's kind of like you got basically. It's like the Superman conundrum as well. It's like, this guy can basically do anything, and he's not. So,
I don't
for
know. I
the
feel like
sake of the
especially
longevity of the film, and same with Polka Dot Man, he
no,
could
but
fuck
Polka
up
Dot
a
Man
whole field of people, and he just does it. I don't know. It's just like,
But Polka Dot Man, it makes more sense in that kind of like he has to expel his polka dots twice a day, so he can't like
oh,
do it on demand.
oh, really? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
I didn't
says that
miss that.
during it,
All
and
right.
also that like he also doesn't enjoy killing people. Like he
Yeah,
would
but
really
so
rather
this
not.
is this is just like again, this is just the rehash of what is it, El Diablo in the
Yeah, but this is better than El
same
Diablo,
shit.
I think.
Nah, not really.
Yeah, but it's not like I mean, apart from the weird like CGI mum stuff, like I think he's better, like because it's like they literally took the dumbest possible character and just they kind of made it okay in this, and it's like I didn't see him on screen. I thought, oh, this guy again. I was like, all right,
No, nor did I. But I didn't. He's basically the El Diablo equivalent. And I didn't think El
but it's
Diablo.
better than El
We
Diablo.
actually said, nah, I don't really think so, man. El Diablo was like, he was
El
actually,
Diablo's generic and is like his when he uses power, he could use his power at any point, and
yeah,
it was like it made like it was like, oh, it's fire. It's like wow.
yeah, that's true. Well, whatever. So anyway, they're in a theater and they're watching their mission.
Yeah, Viola
Idris
Davis is
Elba's just
basically a
like,
teacher
yeah.
at this point.
Idris
It's
Elba
like
goes, "We're all gonna die," and then Polka Dot Man says, "I hope so."
yeah, exactly.
And that is my nomination for the Sigma quote because that's like, if we're talking about Sigma males, that's what like actual wannabe Sigma males would
Yeah,
say. So
literally. Yeah, but I kind of I love the scene as well because it's literally like it's literally like a giant like basically Amanda like in a classroom kind of she's got like the got the whiteboard going like any questions anyone and then has to explain to Ratcatch 2 what a fucking overhead projector is for you know anyone who's ever seen any of them in any primary schools. But
yeah, again, it's just these like trying to be funny, but you're not like moments. There was so many of them in
to
Suicide
me
Squad.
there are some times in this where I think it's trying too hard to be funny, but I think that
Yeah,
was all.
yeah, way too much, especially with like Harley Quinn, especially.
Yeah,
She's the
true.
biggest
But
culprit.
it's not like Harley Quinn is still better in this than the previous one, I think. Easily.
Mm, She has better action scene. She has one better action scene.
Significantly better outfit, which is
Yeah.
actually I don't know if you noticed this, but apparently um it's like based off of sort of or it's drew inspiration from her outfit from the Batman Arkham City game.
Oh yeah. Of course, it's a far more accurate Harley Quinn outfit. I mean, the one from Suicide Squad isn't. It's just it's just ridiculous. Um, like it's like the Hooters fucking uniform. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. Her outfit was much better, and she had her action scene. She had an action scene that was later on that was really good. But again, it was just marred by licensed music. That's not her fault. But I think just her character again was just no, it wasn't better. It was just completely annoying and unnecessary. Didn't want to see her at all. Honestly, she
I
just
don't
kind
know.
of
I
ruined the
think,
film, along with a lot of the other elements. Man, I just didn't need her back. You know, and she's just trying too hard to be funny again, like her lines. And also, Margaret Robbie just slips into an Australian accent sometimes. You know, it's just like you can fucking at least try, man.
I
Come on.
never noticed that, to be honest. So
Yeah, it pissed me off a couple of times. I noticed it. I was just like, oh, all right. Um, I didn't need Harley Quinn again. Plus, it's Harley Quinn without a Joker, so that's a bit like
but she's not necessarily like, especially more over the years, she's kind of been less bound to sort of being, associated with the Joker so much. I mean, the
yeah, but
funny thing is,
that's why what's so bad about the Joker?
it's
It's
not
like the
that, I
whole
mean, they
point.
weren't going to bring back Jared Leto for this, obviously. So, I mean, it would have been interesting if they did, but I don't know how they fit him in this story. But, um,
I'm glad for his sake they didn't. Well, anyway, so then we're back. Now this is the thing, yeah. So it's 3 days later. Then we're back to the beach. So we're back to the beginning of the film, basically. Great. Um, and they get back and they're like they set up camp in the jungle and shit. And then the shark, King Shark, he tries to eat Ratcatcher too. Polka Dot Man's doing some weird shit as well.
yeah,
So
doesn't he go for a piss or something? It's
yeah.
like rainbow
He's like,
colored.
and Shark's like trying to eat the Ratcatcher and like, catch him, and like, oh, you can't eat him. Da da da. And it's just like set up some like friendship thing which doesn't even really pay off towards the end, but whatever. Um, they find okay, so then they stumble upon. They wake up the next morning. They stumble upon. Stop me if there's anything extremely amazing you want to comment on here because
Well,
I'm
the entire time, like basically, like throughout this film, you've got like a lot of like back and forth between Idris Elba and John Cena in this. Like,
yeah.
there's even a bit which is like I think just showcasing like Peacemaker's a moron, like being like, oh yeah, it's like why actually he has at this point he's like he just walks up like to see the commotion during this when like
Oh yeah.
King Shark's trying to eat him. He's just like I remember seeing this. He's just straight like completely like naked apart from the fact he's wearing tight whities. And then like Idris Elba's like, what the fuck, and so on. They're like having a back and forth, and he's like, why do you sleep like this, and so on. And he's like, why are you in tight whities? Like, well, that's just racist, which is
Yeah.
like just him being a more. And that was actually improvised, and a lot of like
Oh
James
really?
Gunn actually was like saying like John Cena is actually really good at improvising for some reason. Like this is a thing that like also really like made me like quite surprised in this the fact that John Cena of all people is actually pretty good at acting in this. Like
Yeah, that's true. I'll give that.
for a
Yeah,
former wrestler.
that's true. Yeah, that was good. But I think that's just again like I think it's more strength of Idris Elba just being able to. So Idris Elba is strong banter. Do you know what I mean? He's like old
Yeah.
school. He's like he fucking he's just got this dry fucking proper humor, and he's just like he makes everything funny. I mean, just like literally Will Smith, but English, so 100 times better. And he's just like, yeah, he really carries this fucking film, but not to the point where it's good.
I don't know. But
But
also
yeah, that was funny, yeah, because himself was just getting pissed. This is also the bit we find out he's got his character has a rat phobia.
yeah,
Um, so
like
okay,
Indiana Jones style almost like I hate
yeah, that's
snakes.
true.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought of. But also, you might find this interesting. They were originally, well, they weren't originally, but they were, well, actually, well, James Gunn wants to have Dave Bautista be a Peacemaker for this, which I think would have
Oh,
been
that would have been interesting.
interesting, but I don't know. I think I would have still,
Another wrestler turned actor.
yeah, exactly. I would have still gone with John Cena personally.
Yeah. I think John Cena was he did what he needed to do in this film. I don't think he was like a negative or a positive. He was just there, and it was like, oh, okay, cool. Um. So anyway, so then we get quite a good bit where they stumble upon this
Yeah.
like camp, and they
Yeah,
like
like full of
fuck shit up. And it's
mercenaries and stuff.
basically Idris Elba versus John Cena, and they're just like competing against each other, how many people they can
Yeah,
kill
who
and
could do it in the
who's doing
most
it
like
better.
elegant
Yeah, and
way.
like da da da. So
Yeah, and I love like the one like the especially like the two things about it. It's like one that's
mm,
like a specific part where like John Cena like he shoots someone without looking at him like over his shoulder
yeah,
and it just Elba's like yeah that's not a fatal wound and he's like actually like you've got like these
yeah,
random explosive bullets and like, you just see the guy like like blow up in the background and he's like oh no one likes a fucking show off and then he's like well except when it's good and he's like fuck he's right but then and also the fact that they're like just like they're just shooting people who aren't even threats. They're like clearly just like murder loads
yeah.
of people. Just like what the fuck?
And I just, like I will come back to that point, but as well, I did want to nominate that for the Sigma quote as well, but it's against Idris Elba, so I don't really want to.
Oh,
I don't really, but that was quite Sigma as fuck, man. Where he's like, oh, you know, like no
I
one
don't.
likes to show off.
I really love this bit. Like personally, like especially just like they're both. It's like so petty. Like kind of this
Yeah, for sure. And
thing.
anyway, yeah, and it all and the payoff is that it all turns out that they find Rick Flag and he's having tea, and they've just killed their allies basically.
Yeah, it's
So
like the entirety of like the
yeah,
resistance is dead because of them.
yeah, that was quite funny. That was like
Didn't
decent
see
little
that coming. Yeah.
decent little twist there, yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, so anyway, then okay, now this was really interesting. We get to basically meet the Thinker, right? And I thought this character was like a good villain. He's played by an actor who's like in everything. He's one of the Doctor Who's.
Yeah,
He was
piece
in
of
Peep
Capaldi.
Show. He was in another film I watched recently, World War Z. So I forget what his name is, but
It's
he
piece
does
of
he plays
Capaldi.
good. He's obviously like proper like British like actor like villain sort of thing. And he was good in this, to be fair.
Yeah.
Um, but he's introducing basically the crux of the plot, which is this starfish like thing
Yeah,
with
it's Starro.
yeah Starro, yeah. So
Which yeah, I know it seems like dumb, but I mean, especially for this film, it kind of makes sense. And also the fact that Starro was the first ever villain in the Justice League comics, so I think it's paying homage to that.
mm, okay, well whatever. Um, I mean, the first kind of glimpse we see of it before we realize there's a massive fuck off one is the Starro like literally because I watched Alien 3. I've been watching the Alien films again. And it's like literally like a face hugger like from Alien.
Yeah,
The
literally like a
starfish.
Metroid kind of.
Yeah, like same thing, man. Although I like the difference in it that the star it becomes a face hugger and then but then it's got the eye, so it
Yeah,
like
the eye. So
punches
yeah,
him out.
I like that
Which
kind of. It's a nice little thing.
there's another film I think that exact same thing happens in, but it is quite a generic thing anyway. It's like zombie style, do you know what I mean? But whatever.
Yeah, but it's not. Look, remember from the previous Suicide Squad where it just turns like random blobs, kind of like
Yeah,
those.
that's true. But I mean, why the fuck do we need a Suicide Squad remake, man? Like, I didn't need those things rehashed and debatably better, but still, it's just like no one needed that shit, man. But whatever. Um. So anyway, then we get to okay, yeah, then we get to Harley Quinn, where this is I think yeah, we get to Harley Quinn. She's like she's been captured obviously from the beginning, but she survived obviously.
Yeah,
Um,
because like the leader, the one who's not Fidel Castro wants to marry her,
yeah,
basically.
They even managed to get so she's like dressed up like a princess and she's like doing all the shit, falling in love, well, but not really. Um, just this really unnecessary bit. Like I just didn't need this in the film.
Yeah, but like, well, essentially, like, yeah,
They
he's just
even
like,
manage to get a bit of fucking um, what's the fucking word? I always forget it. Where they're explaining exposition. They get a bit
exposition.
of exposition in there about the Nazis, man. Like you can't have a fucking
Oh, always, yeah. This is
just name check. Yeah, like oh yeah, the Nazis were involved in this. Like
well.
oh
To be
okay.
fair, I think that it must be like something from the comics, right? Like it has to be because like given the time when those are written, you just have to write. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I
like
know, but it's just
around the
boring.
time of
Just
Indiana
don't
Jones, like
just cut this
everything's
scene
fine.
out. Just show her. Literally, just cut this scene out and just cut to her being tortured where her friends are. Just didn't need this at all. Literally didn't
I
need.
don't know,
Didn't need
but
this.
like the
Completely
fact that
unnecessary.
I thought it was kind of like funny though, like especially because like she's like, oh, like you think, oh, wait, she might actually betray the team here, like just like go against them, but also like just out of nowhere, this guy's like, yeah, well, anyone who goes against me, like he's like, oh yeah, I'm such a benevolent person to free this place, except anyone who goes against me, they'll kill them, their family, their children, and then she just shoots him like out of nowhere, and it's like, yeah, sorry, but it is like borderline cringe though, when she's like, yeah. Well, I made a promise to myself, if any of my boyfriends show any red flags, and I'd, just do a favor and kill them. Um, but like, this guy's just like completely like fucking like starstruck, almost like so surprised. But I don't know. It was. I mean, that was a bit of a surprise for me, like because I would kind of thought like maybe there'd be a dynamic of her betraying the squad, or like I don't know, just straight up like going against him or some shit. I don't know.
Mm, didn't work for me. I'd have just cut this whole scene out. Literally, completely unnecessary. And it's just shoehorned in for I think the exposition. And still, oh yeah, they're not. But fucking that Rick Flag guy could have said something or whatever. Like the Colonel could have said something or the rebel leader. Just anyone. I just didn't need this at all. But whatever. I've got here written down. We cut back to the obviously the team, the Suicide Squad, and Polka Dot Man. He mentions that he talks about his origin story, and he mentions that he worked for Star Labs.
Yep. No, his mum worked for Star Labs.
His mum worked. Now I remember that rung a bell, but I can't remember. I know we
Star
spoke about
Labs.
it.
That's
Yeah,
from Justice League, and also, well,
is that the
Batman.
one Dyson works for? Miles
Yeah,
Dyson. Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
yeah, but
Um,
like, yeah, I think his origin is good though, and the fact that it's like his mum was trying to turn him and his siblings into like superheroes or whatever, and like they ends up just being like freaks basically, and then he's just like he has to live with that.
yeah, great backstory there. Yeah, it was really
I don't know.
like.
Well, I don't know. It's more is that also that is something that definitely reminds me of something from the boys, but um,
Okay. Well, anyway, we get a whole bunch of backstories here because they're all on the bus and they're all getting emotional, like a bit of character development. Um,
better than the last
and
bar scene.
we get the Rat Catcher's origin story, and it's like, oh, okay, like that was quite interesting to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Also, the fact that I also, when you mentioned that her powers OP, she could just do it. I think, I think she might be limited in how often she can use it because, she's fucking constantly asleep. Basically, probably
Oh,
like
yeah.
might
Yeah.
be quite draining to use it. I don't know.
Yeah, but
That's
just
my
use it
guess.
once and the
But
film's over, pretty much. You know what I mean?
true, but
Whatever.
they haven't found like the MacGuffin villain yet, have they?
Yeah. Well, anyway, Idris Elba, he does his like origin story, and it's really fucking dark. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, whenever I did something wrong, my dad had to punish me, and one of those days he locked me in a crate for 24 hours with starving rats, and I'm like, well, that's fucked up. Like,
Yeah,
shit, man.
exactly.
Like, that's some fucking jigsaw shit right there,
Yeah.
man. Like, what
But
the fuck?
yeah, that does call back to as well though. Like the introduction of him to Peacemaker, I thought was quite funny though. Like when they're like, oh yeah, yeah, he was also Peacemaker was trained up by his father to kill from the day he was born. It's like, what the fuck? He's the same as me. Like it's like, yeah, I do it better though. And then that's what starts off that whole thing. But yeah, I think it's like almost taking the piss out of like the generic guy with guns almost.
What, the
But they're
fact that
both
he
alright.
was. No, it's a fucked up origin story, so it's like,
Yeah,
it's
his
always
one's yeah
going to be.
fucked up though. But we don't get
Yeah.
much about John Cena's one.
Yeah, didn't need it. Then we get another bar scene. Like it was slightly, obviously, it was better than the original Suicide Squad one
Infinitely
because it
better, man.
actually leads somewhere. Well, like it actually turns out to be quite good. But
Yeah, because like
but
you
it's
get
just again, it's just I just didn't need reminding of it. They're all sat down at a
oh,
bar.
but they not are they like forever banned from going to bars in DC films now?
just didn't need this film, and it's just like
Like, we're never gonna have the
they're just
Joker
making
again
the
because
film
he was in
fit that. I
Suicide
don't
Squad.
need every scene remade. Do you know what I mean?
But this isn't
Um,
the same. It's not like, oh, we failed
yeah,
our
it's because they're
mission.
like, oh well, we've got 3 hours to live. Yeah. Oh, I don't usually drink, but I'll have one now. Oh yeah,
No, no,
great
no. It's
guys,
not the same
great
though. 'Cause in the
character
previous
development.
one, they were like, oh, well, we fucked up the mission. I guess we need a pep talk from Harley Quinn or something. And this is like, well, we're waiting for this guy
Yeah,
to
the
turn up
thinker.
so we
Yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the only thing that saved it. Like I said,
And
it
Idris
was his
Elba is
best
really
film.
fucking good in that. Like when he's like, he's just like, oh yeah, that's a gun in your back now. Keep a
Yeah,
smile on your
smile. Yeah,
face.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, and they're like, so anyway, the police come in and or the army, and they're like, yeah, show us your IDs. We're looking for the Americans. And Idris Elba improvises. He's like, yeah, go out the back. And then he's like, yeah, don't worry, guys, don't ruin everyone's night. He just gives himself up, and as well, John Cena and Rick Flag.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, this bit is like probably the highlight of the film for me because now we get like and it's not really much of a highlight, man. This is
Really?
like standard in any Arnold Schwarzenegger film or whatever, but still, it's like these three like ripped guys with like guns and shit. They're like tied up and like, yeah. So they're in the van and they're like, yeah, you ever heard of the death touch, kill a man in one blow? And then they all know it and they all execute it.
Yeah,
Like,
they all kill them all at the same time. I don't know. I
yeah,
thought it was all right, and
it was
especially like the bit where they have to kill the driver as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
John
yeah. That was
Cena,
definitely
John Cena's like beating this guy, so he also realizes, oh, I've got to steer this through the
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
like
yeah, and he can't reach
scaffold.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was definitely good.
I like that.
They roll off the edge of the hill and they, burst out the back, and you get the shot with the three guys in vests with the fucking, massive guns, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and also saying like obviously bit questionable how they survive the role of that, but also like it's not like they just skip out. Like they're all actually quite injured from it a bit. Like they're
No, they're not. They walk out like unscathed, basically.
ah
And okay, it's not as bad as the helicopter roll in Suicide Squad,
yeah
but again, it's like
trashes
all
like.
it just does it not just remind you of those fucking
It's
bad
not
elements
nearly as
of the
bad
film?
that like you could conceivably, especially in a SWAT van, like designed to keep whoever's in the back alive.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not saying this is badly
I
done.
know
I
it
believe
reminds you, but it's not the same. I
yeah,
think
it reminds me, and I don't need reminding of
that's your
Suicide Squad.
problem.
No, it's the fault of the fucking whoever gave the green light to remake Suicide Squad. What were you thinking?
Yeah, but that scene itself is good, like in the fact that
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah. I'm not
also the
saying
fact
that,
they
but
have to.
well, I don't know because it's questionable how they. What's more questionable to me actually is how they meet exactly at that point. The bus pulls up and they're like, "Oh yeah, we agreed to meet here, didn't we?" Like definitely.
Well, the fact that you see a fucking a truck crash off a hill and you see, oh,
Mm,
that's probably them, to be honest.
yeah. All right. Well, anyway, okay. So now we get to Harley Quinn being tortured with the zapper.
Yeah, the
So
taser.
yep. And she
Yeah, when
eventually
Fidel
passes out.
Castro leaves. Yeah.
Yeah, she passes out. And then the colonel fucks off and leaves one guy to guard her. And while he's texting his fucking side bitch or something, man, she like wakes up and then strangles him with her legs.
Yeah, Xenia Onatopp's in, man.
Yep. Then like pickpockets him with her feet and unlocks the lock with her toes.
Yeah, because like, I mean, the funny thing is with that scene, like Margot Robbie actually did that stunt. Like it was
Yeah,
a stunt double in that, which I thought was quite impressive, to be honest. Trying to pull that off.
fair enough. Fair enough. And she does this cool breakout scene. Now it's very good. The action here is the action in this film is fantastic. I will say, like the
Yeah.
action, actual direction was brilliant. Um, which is why it's surprising to me they just decided to put a fucking licensed song over it and just like
Yeah,
just
there was the
you
bit where
know
the flowers start flying out. I was like, eh.
yeah, man. It just that could have been really like one of the best scenes of like not just well definitely the best scene of the film but maybe of like a bunch of these films, man. That had a really big potential but just ruined, man.
Yeah, I
It's
think it
like
could have been better
and
without
this
it.
this scene, the highest compliment I could give it, it reminded me of like something Quentin Tarantino would do, where it's just like violently fucking up like people, and she's like, and it's like a little bit of Kill Bill vibes, man, and she's like fucking people up and shit, man. Um, and but it just gets a bit more ridiculous as it goes along. Like she picks up two massive guns and shooting them with no recoil, no struggle, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that
like,
bit's, but
and then
you
she
know,
picks up the
this.
javelin and she's using that, and I'm like, oh, all right, like, kind of ruined it now. But, but, you know,
I don't know. I mean, especially the fact the only part that takes out of me is when you got the flowers flying around everywhere.
yeah,
After that, it's basically fine to me. I mean, they did a lot of, like you said, they did a lot of good direction with the action in this.
yeah,
But
for sure.
it's, yeah, again, when it came to like the double wielding of like fucking automatic rifles, I'm like, you know,
Yeah,
the weight of those definitely wouldn't
yeah,
be able to shoot straight. Like the first shot, maybe, but
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, exactly.
I did kind of like it though that she like escapes and like all of them like yeah we've got this sick plan to break her out and he's like fuck.
Yeah. No, that was definitely funny. Yeah, that was definitely good. Yeah, because they're like, oh yeah, we'll go. No, we have this mission, but actually we have mission Harley first, and yeah, they construct a plan, and then yeah, obviously, yeah, she's just like, oh,
Yeah,
and it's
so that
it was
yeah
a really good plan. Yeah, this is definitely a moment of comedy which worked.
yeah and
Where,
you've got it's like she almost does like pulls like a whacking phoenix where she's like well you know I can go back in there you could try again or something
yeah,
like
yeah. Um. Anyway, so then they're all reunited again, and I think at this point there's seven of them. I want to say.
yeah
Um.
they've got another guy the bus driver with them so
Yeah. They drive up to the building, right?
yeah
And
the
it's
big
like, and then you
tower
get this like, there's all the fog, and you get the lineup, like the walkout, and that's
yeah
okay. But do you know what jarred me the most? It was the fact that it was completely non-symmetrical.
I don't know I mean it's a dysfunctional group so like why would it be
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, just didn't. I don't know.
well
Like
what do you want do you want like
that
a
just jarred me a little bit.
what
I
do you
know the
want
shark is
Justice
huge, but
League
then
packed
that's why you don't need the shark in this film. As soon as you saw this shot, think to yourself, okay, maybe we don't need this character. What does he contribute to the film? A little bit of comic relief. We're not really lacking that, so bin him or get a better villain or get someone like a little bit more believable, which wouldn't be fucking hard at this rate. So whatever. So they break in basically, but they've got the thinker with them, so they use him to break in.
yeah
Um, they kind of split up as well, and we
Yeah, they
basically
set
get,
most of them self-explosives at the top, but well, they're setting them around every level. But then the others are going downstairs to you know check out all the
yeah,
records. Well,
yeah, um, yeah, and they basically about a handful of them walk in, and the thinker basically then explains what Project Starfish is, and we see all the victims having their basically like face huggers on them, and it's like pretty fucked up. And it's like, yeah, your government sent you here to, you know, like,
cover up basically
yeah, cover up. Yeah, it's a cover up mission.
like
Like
because the
they've funded
Americans were
this,
actually the
they
ones
can't be on
against it.
American soil, so they've sent you here to like cover it up, raise the records, and Rick Flag is like, no, I'm gonna get and leak it to the press, and then John Cena goes, no, like our mission is to destroy
Yeah,
it.
that's why I
So,
liked it because like John Cena was like he's already been
yeah,
portrayed as you know this like the worst of the American military kind of or like that sort of interests and so on. And then I fucking didn't see it coming where it turns out he's kind of a villain almost. Like the fact he's just like like he just starts beating the shit out of Rick Flag, and I think they have a really good fight here.
they have a great fight, but it's just like the build up to it and stuff is just really cliche. I just
Really?
didn't. Yeah, I found it really
I
cliche. Like,
really liked it personally. I
especially
think
Rick Flag. Especially Rick Flag. He was like super cliche. Where he just goes, "Oh,
I'm
what?
fucked tired
I'm
of being
not
a puppet.
standing for this. Oh, they experimented on kids. Did they? Suddenly grows a conscience, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
but also I know, but this is because you think of the Rick Flag from the previous film as well. You're like this guy really?
oh, was that really my fault when they recast him? Like, literally, like,
Yeah, but
like.
this is meant to be basically like a soft reboot, almost
But
like
it wasn't. They
starting
didn't
from
have the
scratch.
balls to admit that, so they just like kept going with it and just didn't properly
Nah,
address it.
I don't really
Except
think
for
so. As well as like
little monologues from Harley Quinn, like great, like
yeah, because he'd be like fucking sick and tired of because like especially Amanda Waller's like hanging over him like like an axe almost. Like of course he'd want to like he's like at some point leading these cunts I'm gonna die so I might as well do this shit. And like I mean you probably didn't weren't sort of more invested in John Cena as I was so I was like yeah man I was like this is totally in line with his character and I found it really enjoyable just seeing him like just like completely mindlessly just going after him for this. and also like I think at the same time the well, basically the Cuban government in this, or the Corso Maltesian government, I must say, in their fictional world, they've
Yeah,
got like when they're trying to break in, like they're trying to batter around the doors with that like truck. Did you also think of the Italian job
Italian job.
when doing
Yeah,
that?
of
Yeah,
course.
always.
Um, Anyway, so they leave it on a cliffhanger where John Cena and Rick Flag have each other at gunpoint basically, and then the ceiling collapses, so you don't know what's happened. Um,
Yeah.
and then it cuts to wait,
No, he kills Rick
no, no,
Flag.
wait.
I think
Is
he
this
does.
when it goes? No. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, the ceiling collapses, right?
Yeah, because he's just about to kill Ratcatcher, I think.
Yeah. No. So no. They have each other at gunpoint, right? Then the
Yeah.
ceiling collapses, and then the starfish. Sorry, Starro. Is it Starro?
Yeah, Starro
Starro like basically rips the
escapes kind of.
thinker apart, like literally, like, and it's so coming. It's like like
Yeah.
it just rips his. And I like that the rip wasn't actually like in like the
Perfect. Yeah.
unrealistic. It's actually quite a realistic rip where like just an arm and a leg comes off, and then the rest of him like like
Slaps against the
yeah,
earth.
like proper fucking violent, man. Um, and then yeah, man, fucking yeah. Then we get maybe the highlight of the film. To be fair, Rick Flag versus um
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, and yeah, they have a really good fight scene. Like
Yeah, it's like proper, like
yeah,
they're using any improvised weapon at this point.
yeah, and it's proper good.
Like
There's no like it's really
yeah,
good.
there's no
Like I have to
suspension
say.
of disbelief either, because like I mean
Yeah,
Johnson is
not
obviously a
at all.
previous wrestler, like, and Rick Flag's actually sort of like a bit built for this as well.
Yeah,
Like they
massively.
like
Yeah, he's
beat
ripped. Yeah, for
beat
sure.
shit out of each other, man.
Yeah. They're having a proper good fight, and obviously over this disc. The only thing I do question a little bit is his the actual motivation of Peacemaker. Like, why is he
Rick?
so? Yeah, like I don't really buy that he's like so determined to like like to do
Well,
this.
think
Why
about
does he
this.
care that much?
Think about this. Amanda Waller has tasked him to do this. You think he's going to go back and tell her, "Yeah, I'll let him have the drive"?
Well,
Like
no,
this.
but it's like shared, like whatever. Like it's
This is literally like I liked that as well, specifically because this is like the lengths people will go to not incur the wrath of Viola Davis. Like,
But I don't think he actually specifically cites
yeah,
her as
he
his
does. He
motivation.
cites it because she's like,
He does.
Amanda told me to do this, basically.
Oh, okay,
Like
fair.
that can't come out, basically, and that was like the whole point of their actual mission.
Yeah. Okay, 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 fair enough. Yeah, the fight is really good. Basically, yeah, because they keep exchanging. The upper hand keeps going either way, and then you get to a bit where Rick Flag's literally like about to kill John Cena,
Yeah,
and
I
then
thought he was going to kill him as well. Like,
no. I didn't think I wasn't really. I knew someone was gonna. I thought someone was gonna interrupt it, but what I didn't expect was like he just picks up a piece of broken fucking tile, whatever, and then like slams it in his heart, man, and you actually
you
literally
get to
see
see
like
it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
um,
but like, yeah, and the fact that they just kill Rick Flag, I was like, I didn't think.
yeah. That was really good, and I was like, oh shit. And then you see that Ratcatcher witnessed the whole thing, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh
she
fuck,
takes the drive and just leaves.
yeah. Definitely the highlight of the film, 100%. And obviously, what it leads on to as well, because obviously, he pursues the rat catcher, and then he has her at gunpoint, and
Yeah,
it's like a proper cliffhanger, and then it goes to 8 minutes earlier. Okay,
yeah,
and then so then we go back to Idris Elba's crew, right?
yeah,
Where they're like on the top floor, whatever.
yeah.
Um, Basically, some soldiers come in, and Milton dies. Like that's
Yeah,
like
Milton, the bus driver. I like this bit as well. Like fucking Polka Dot Man's like, fuck, they killed Milton. Like, and
like
then they're all
who?
like, who the fuck's Milton? And he's like, he was with us the whole time. He's like, oh, he drove the bus. And then Idris Elba's like, why the fuck would the bus driver tag along with us? What was he gonna do? Like, I
Yeah.
like that bit, honestly.
That was good. That was good, 100%.
But apart from like, like Margot Robbie had to deliver some fucking lines. She was like, "Oh man, I really should have made friends with him or something. I didn't know it was him." And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, a bit too much, but it's
But
okay.
yeah, it's Idris Elba.
Um. Anyway, they accidentally set off some explosives. I think Polka Dot Man does.
Yeah, Polka Dot Man does.
Yeah, and then the basically the whole tower floods and
Yeah, it crashes on
explodes
top of
pretty
them.
much. And it explodes in a really cool way because it's like there's like a diagonal slit down the middle,
Yeah.
and it's like sliding down and shit, and it's like it's like cool, creating a pretty cool moment there. Um, the King Shark, he like
Yeah, he's off in his own world,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. He like shoots out and like crashes to the bottom, and they try and gun him down, the soldiers and stuff. But obviously he's a shark, so he's got like basically bulletproof skin. Um,
something. Yeah.
and he just goes ape shit, man. He fucking eats one of them, like like eats
Yeah,
the
it's
head
and he like
of the
rips
soldier.
on apart like in half, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty sick. Um, and then we get like they're like okay, so the top of the building like slides off, and then they go to
Yeah, you got all
yeah,
of them trying
they
to like
like
not
jump
die in it.
off. They like jump and land, and then Idris Elba he shoots like a python into the wall, which then comes off, and then he lands, and then like it keeps going floor by floor, like cracking down,
Yeah,
and
I love that bit where he's like he lands and it's like you really feel like oh like you hear the noise of him landing. It's like oh his legs must be fucked. But
yeah,
then every time he just keeps going floor by
yeah,
floor down.
his knees would be fucked by that point. Knees, ankles, he would never walk again after that happening twice. Let alone stand his ground and be fine. Like that was like it was cool, but
It's
it
a
was
bit
just like
I know I thought it was just a bit of visual comedy, like just seeing that go down each time.
yeah, I guess. Um, I'll excuse it because it does lead to like
A
us
great
rejoining the
intro.
best part of the film, yeah, which
Yeah.
is, mate, literally like,
It's like it settles their fucking argument they're having at the start,
yeah,
which I thought
it's
was great.
sick. So
Like
Idris Elba
like
versus,
Idris Elba's fucking intro entrance, like just to facilitate, he just comes through the ceiling. He's just stood there, like right at the
yeah,
right spot. They both immediately just shoot each other. They don't even. He doesn't even know by this point, basically, that like John Cena's a villain. They just kind of like. I mean, you can see he's holding him at
yeah,
gunpoint,
yep. They
and
just
they
lock
just like
eyes and they just know like this is it. They both draw their guns and shoot, and it's
yeah,
sick because I'm like I really didn't know. I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
uh,
because like at the
yeah,
beginning, like yeah, because
yeah,
John Cena fires a big bullet, and then Idris Elba's got like the little one that goes
yeah.
breaks part that one, and obviously kills shoots John Cena, and like it goes back to that thing at the start where he's like, oh well, I hit the shots more in the center because I use smaller bullets, and then
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gets
yeah,
that
yeah.
pull off where he's like saying, well yeah my trick because I use smaller bullets because John Cena actually was bullshitting the whole time.
Yeah, and his bullet, I'm not really sure how it goes through the center and keeps its momentum, but the scene is so fucking cool that I will literally excuse it. I will
Yeah, I
just go, yeah.
literally don't care. It's
It's
such a good
it's
scene.
like, ah, that was fucking sick, man. Um, and yeah, man, yeah, the small bullet goes through, like obviously goes in John Cena's neck, and you're like, oh fuck. Um, so yeah, he saves Ratcatcher, and then basically Starro starts attacking. Like it wakes up. They all like fuck off out the building.
Yeah, so
And
they're all like, yeah, and even the Cubans are like, they're like, oh
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
they
And
don't even bother shooting him.
this is where I'm like,
Looks a bit
this is where
goofy.
I'm like, we've just come off at the high of a really good scene, and actually, I'm beginning to like enjoy the film, and like, yeah, this is like beginning good plot, good action, good like people are dying and stuff. It's like, oh, this is actually like they're actually making some decisions here, but then you just get this giant animated fucking monstrosity that wouldn't even
Starfish, yeah.
like it wouldn't even make it into a bad Marvel film. Even they're not shameless enough to do something like this. And I know it's like meant to be like a parody, but then
Yeah.
like you've just come off some really good moments, and then you just ruin it all by just like this massive starfish, and it's just like,
Yeah, I would agree with you that they could have used a fucking better like I don't know
yeah,
whatever villain they could dig out for this. Like if it was
yeah,
like I don't know,
anything.
they somehow turn like the Colonel like Fidel Castro into like some sort of monstrosity from like I don't know, who knows? But
The
anyway,
thing is, right, basically, because this reminded me a lot of Alien, yeah, with the face huggers. So
face
just go
huggers, yeah.
something with that route. Have like a mother alien, right? Whatever, where it's just controlling everything, and it's in some sort of shield or something like that, and they have to like take it down. I just didn't need the visual element of a giant starfish. This is like Godzilla, but fucking ridiculous. Like it's just stupid. Like it's just like, what am I watching now? This is
Yeah.
beyond parody. This is just stupid.
Yeah, I didn't like the villain they chose for us, especially as like if you look up Star and some of the comics, like some of the panels, it kind of is like it has a it has a similar design, but it's like done a bit more like darker kind of. So, it's not like
Really? This looks
yeah,
like a kid. This looks like a toy I would buy in the pet store for my dog. For him
yeah,
to chew on
it
next
does to
week.
be fair. And I was like,
It's just like like of all the things they could have chosen, man. So I'm sure there was like a better option than this, and it's just like it's a letdown.
yeah. I
And
mean,
it gets worse, and it gets worse, but we will get there.
this is bad day for Viola Davis fans.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the starfish, Starro, like become like. By the way, because you get a wide shot of Starro, and it's far bigger than the tower that was originally containing it. Apparently.
Yeah, but it was underground, obviously, wasn't it?
Yeah. Still, I don't know. It's just too big as well, man. If you made that like,
Yeah, but for a
you know,
IMAX cinema screen, you need it.
yeah, yeah, that's literally great for the
Well,
IMAX.
to be
Which,
fair, with
by the
you,
way, no one went and saw because it fucking flopped. So you just did that for no reason. Anyway, um, so basically, it shoots out a bunch of little face huggers, and it like attaches itself to everyone except the Suicide Squad. Very
yeah, because
convenient
one of them
because they're the
Ratcatcher
only
puts down
ones that
sort of
figure
a
out to cover
mask.
their face.
Yeah,
So
Ratcatcher puts down the mask. Idris Elba, obviously, he's got the whole like facial helmet. Harley Quinn,
and he's shooting them down. I believe that.
yeah, Harley Quinn's too important, so
Yeah,
uh,
she's just like one goes on her elbow or something. That's pretty.
yeah. I mean, King Shark is kind of funny
King
because like
Shark. I'll excuse him.
his face is too fucking big for
And
them to
Polka
do.
Dot Man is just slapping them away. So
Yeah, he's got goggles on. That'll do it.
yeah, but you don't see them come into effect. He's
I know,
literally
I know, I
slapping
know,
them
I
away.
know.
That's all
I'm,
he's
I was
doing.
being sarcastic about his goggles. Like that's not.
Yeah, it's just stupid. To be fair.
Yeah,
Um,
this is why they killed off fucking Rick Flag. He wouldn't have been able to defend himself.
I
Yeah,
suppose. Yeah. Um, I just didn't
yeah,
need it, but whatever. So then basically they've got like a Starro army going on, right? And it turns out that the Thinker is controlling them because he speaks through them or whatever.
so yeah, this city's mine,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
So
that's right. Everyone is possessed except this, and I know that's like, but at least please give us a little bit more of a believable like,
yeah,
or like
well,
the fact that they also at least have one soldier that like had the brains to put his helmet down or something, It's
yeah.
like
But then you'd be like, oh, why the fuck is this random soldier joining us? Like, if you
well,
had,
no, they shoot him down or something, Like I don't know.
I don't know, if you, I mean, the only two,
Yeah,
I mean, the majority of them are like fair enough, like Idris Elba, Ratcatch 2, and
yeah,
King.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the
But
other two are like, eh.
yeah, yeah, and the fact no one else has the brains to put on a mask or is even wearing one originally, whatever.
Uh,
Yeah, okay, so then they're all like, yeah, okay, your mission Waller goes, yeah, your mission is done, like you can fuck off now, basically.
yeah, so it's even
Um
better. Yeah, you get
and the
like
White House will say this is a victory, they'll take this as a W, so
yeah,
go.
yeah. I did like it though. Like, just shows like she's going like, because I had teams even questioning her, like whether like she's just going full psycho man, like full
Yeah.
Amanda Waller, where she's like, yeah, you know, it's even better that you've released us upon these.
Yeah.
It's an enemy state, and it's like,
Yeah.
and they're all like, what the fuck, and like her team's like, what the fuck, man, and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, yeah.
you gotta get out now, otherwise I'm gonna fucking kill every one of you, like, and she actually is like goes right to do it after they start actually pursuing the thing,
Hmm.
and I mean, in if you want her to like kind of kill all of them, but also they go. So these are the characters that you kind of like, minus King Shark. But um, the thing is, like, obviously the film has on, I guess, and so they have to sacrifice Amanda Wallace's invulnerability to get on with it. Like her employer's just like fuck, so they like hit her with a golf club, which is set up earlier because she's playing golf, practicing golf earlier to play with the senator.
Yeah.
It was sad though to watch like they
Yeah.
knocked down Viola Davis, and I was
That
like,
was,
ah.
I just didn't need to. That was just like, why, man? Why?
But then, well, the
It's
thing,
nothing
the thing is
sacred.
that they had two routes. They either take her down, or they have to break her character, where she's like, actually, you're gonna do a good
No, no, no,
thing.
no, no. I think there would have been a much better solution out of this. Like, say for example, right?
Yeah,
She actually presses the button, not on Idris Elba, but one of the others. Okay, so then you get a bit of a sacrificial lamb, and then they keep. It's like a Spartacus thing, man. They keep marching. she kills one of them, and it doesn't slow them down, and she kills another one, bang, and then
But
something
Idris Elba
happens
left.
where, like, I don't know, like something like better than her getting knocked out by like the fucking wankers that like work behind her, the fucking Guardian writers, man. Like, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
just.
maybe, but like,
And then they take control. Like, yeah, this is your best route, man. Yeah, oh, yeah, man. Like, it just embarrassing, man.
yeah,
Like,
I think. But the thing is, at this point, they've killed off. I mean, like they can maybe, yeah, they could probably kill off King Shark. Not many people would care. They could. I don't know who else they could really
well,
kill.
okay. I know there's five of them left, but just leave seven of them left, and then kill off two of them, and then leave the original five. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they couldn't kill. She wouldn't kill Peacemaker for the aforementioned reasons, and she wouldn't kill like Rick.
I'm sure they could have spared one of them, man. I mean, because Polka Dot Man dies anyway,
Yeah,
so
he does. He does. She probably could
yeah,
kill
kill
him.
him off, and then you save us from the worst
Yeah, exactly.
thing in the film, which is his giant mother. What the fuck, man?
Yeah. Well, like Star, yeah, because yeah, he just sees everyone he kills
It's
as
it's like it felt like to me the creators of the film just went, yeah, well, we made Suicide Squad. You all hated it. We're gonna remake it. You're gonna be stupid enough to watch it. You're stupid enough to have watched it till the end. So now we're gonna give you a finger to remind you how fucking stupid you are. You've actually committed to watching this film through to the end. So this is what you get: a fucking giant polka dot man's mum.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
feel
also hate that
insulted
bit
by
too.
this film, man.
But like, yeah, this is the thing. It's like they could have really fixed the end there. Um,
I am sure if you let me sit down for 5 minutes, I would have come up with a better ending for this film.
yeah,
Um,
genuine. I mean, like if it was up to yeah,
I mean,
like
not a
you could
better
have
ending,
probably
but just a
ended.
better, like, better from A to B moment of like from them turning around, Amanda Waller keeping her dignity, and them like imagine a couple of them or one at least one of them gets killed off, and you're like, oh wow, this it ups the stakes and shit, instead of
Yeah,
just
but then what's stopping her from killing
yay,
all of
oh
them?
we're in charge now, yeah, Amanda Waller, oh yeah,
Because
we
like
piss on her, like fuck off, man.
yeah,
You
I
don't
mean to
do
be
that
fair
to
though,
Viola
like
Davis, man. You don't do that.
nothing would stop Amanda Waller from killing all of them. Like that's the thing though, because like unless someone took her out, then
This is the same Amanda Waller that shot down her whole team in Suicide Squad.
yeah.
You
But
know?
the thing is, I think after that happened, they probably stuck her in like an office with these lot where they can actually keep an eye on. Because like they're like, you need to, you need to stop mysteriously being the last survivor of all these things, Amanda.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I,
this is like a
I'm sure there was a better way out of it, man. But
yeah,
whatever.
there was
We
undoubtedly a
won't
better
dwell
way
on
to
it. We'll move
do
on.
it, but yeah,
So we've got Idris Elba, Ratcatcher, Harley Quinn, and the Shark Man left, and Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man gets killed.
yeah,
Not quick enough. Not quick enough to avoid the fucking what I
big
mentioned
bum,
earlier.
yeah,
But and do you know what pissed me off? It's just like Harley Quinn, right? She like get dies, but obviously doesn't. And then she climbs up onto the most predictable finale of any film I've ever fucking seen, man. Like this wall that somehow remained intact and it's just like perfectly narrow and even enough for her to run down and stab the javelin in his eye. Like so predictable, man.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't like that bit personally,
yeah.
but
All the rats. Okay, this is cool. So you get Ratcatcher summoning all the rats to fucking devour this fucking army of possessed Starro warriors, whatever, and also Starro itself. So they're all
yeah,
climbing up it and devouring it, whatever. And then and then she does like do the run up and stab it through the eye. But then she
yeah,
go. This was unexpected. She goes into the eye, so I was like, oh okay, bit
yeah. You get to
strange,
see them all
but
like rip it apart.
yeah. But I was a little bit like whatever. Like, but at this point, I was like, I didn't give a fuck. At least the film's ending.
I thought like you of all people would enjoy the gore in that.
No, I enjoy gore when it's like got a purpose. This is just like say it's like Quentin Tarantino gore. It's just like, oh, you're just doing it for the sake of it. There's no like payoff. It's not like gore and Jigsaw or something where it's like, oh, it's like deliberately trying to be fucked up. This is just like a fucking giant starfish with an eye in the middle of it being taken down by rats in pretend Cuba in this like remake of one of the worst films ever. I just, you know what I mean? Like I can't sit there and go, oh, this is great. Um,
Yeah,
and unnecessary gore doesn't,
I don't know.
swing.
I thought you were a fan of unnecessary gore, but
No, this isn't. This is no. I'm not. I'm a fan of necessary gore.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, well, you might get a
um,
letter in your mailbox from Jigsaw soon.
yes. Anyway, so yeah, they take it down basically. Um,
Yeah.
Shark survives as well, so we get a little kind of payoff where he becomes friends with Ratcatcher. They hug each other, whatever. Idris Elba. Okay, Amanda Waller's woken up and like
Got
she's
nice back on.
fine and like, but she's been
Yeah,
humbled, so
if
she's like
this
in
was
the other room. It's just like, oh, okay.
yeah, if this was the Amanda Waller from the previous one, she'd have killed the entire
Yeah,
office. She'd be
she
like,
should have, man. That
imagine if, like,
fucking cool. That would have been fucking cool.
imagine if like it like cuts back to her, she's just like strangling the last one with like a
Yeah,
cord or something.
yeah, that fat one, man. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
fucking man.
exactly.
Yeah, that'd have been way better, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would have been better because then it sets up like she's got like a revenge story for the next one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Fuck
imagine
off
that.
if there's a next one, man.
Yeah, because like they could have been
Yeah,
like
I know what
Amanda
you mean.
Waller gets fired finally for killing too many employees, and then she just like goes on a one woman mission to kill all of them.
Yeah, that would be sick. To be fair, all
They're
right,
not gonna do that, but
as long as Harley Quinn's not in it.
yeah,
Um,
just hire fucking hire us to write the next one.
yeah, sure, sure, I'm up for that. But anyway, she makes a deal with Idris Elba, which is cool. I like that payoff. I like that he uses that thing as blackmail. So then, obviously, they all get set free. That's a way better ending than what they did in Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
They both kind of and they both. This is great because they both keep their dignity. Because Idris Elba gets off, and then she gets to go. Yeah, she's been humbled, but then she goes, "I told you I'd make you a leader," and that makes it okay. That makes it Viola Davis
yeah,
like that's cool. Um, and yeah, and that's basically the end of the film. They get taken off in a helicopter, and the final shot is Idris Elba like with a rat on his lap, and he makes peace with it, and he's like stroking it, and you're like, oh, that's a nice little moment there.
yeah.
Um, and that's it. And then the credits start rolling, and then we're reminded that the weasel happened and that he's alive.
Yeah,
So
the weasel's somehow still alive.
yeah, so really
Yeah, I
needed,
was like, okay, that's interesting. Is there a
and
second post-credit scene? I don't know.
that is the Suicide Squad. So how far are
It's
we
a
in?
film. You know, I think
What's the time? What's the timestamp? Just out of curiosity.
124, nearly
Nice.
25. I mean, I will say like this film is like kind of yeah, when you bring up the ending, you could basically finish it after fucking Bloodsport kills Peacemaker and that's it. I mean, Peacemaker's not dead in this somehow, I won't lie. Like, if you finished it at that point, they'd be like, yeah, you probably like this film. But the ending could have been better written, I will say.
I just think this film would have been much improved with no licensed music, like a really good soundtrack for the action scenes, um, a better villain than Starro, a better ally than the Shark King Shark, and less Harley Quinn,
But
and
this
more Amanda Davis. I mean
Amanda
Amanda
Waller.
Waller. Sorry,
Yeah.
those are just like the headline changes I would have made, and this film would be far better. It would be more serious. Um, I would get rid of the beginning. I just didn't need reminding any of those characters
Oh,
exist.
but no, I would keep I'd kept the beginning where they all get mowed down, man. Because like it's again,
No,
it's another.
I wouldn't even have that. I would have it like as like a footnote where Amanda Wallace goes, "Oh, what happened to Captain Boomerang?" Those guys, they died. They're
Yeah, no, but
history.
it's like
That's
I
it.
love I love the fact they kept that in. You just see them all like because I wanted to
Oh,
see
you love
Captain
the fact we
Boomerang's
got to
head flying.
see Pete Davidson. Great, yeah, man,
You get to
really
see
needed
Pete
that.
Davidson get killed. I
But
was like,
what is
oh,
Warner's problem with like hiring fucking Pete Davidson and fucking Amber Heard and these Ezra Miller, these fucking scum, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
nah. But
just
I just like the fact that you get to see them die, man, and like it includes like basically another bit for like to show off Amanda Waller just being a psycho, man, just being like, yeah, I sacrificed all these shits here people so they create a distraction.
yeah. Well, okay, whatever. Let's just get this over with.
I mean,
So we
yeah,
don't have
there's just
much to
Harley Quinn
rank
really.
apart from we're just going to do the most Sigma moment and the film. I didn't bother finding the picture for this film. We'll just like say where it will end up. Um, but let's the Sigma moment. So Sigma quote. I would say either
Yeah,
yeah, we're all going to die. I hope so, or the one which
yeah, I hope
Peacemaker
so.
does.
Yeah, where Peacemaker's like, yeah, where like Idris Elba, he's like, oh, well, you can yeah, no one likes to show off, and he's like, unless it's really fucking cool, which I don't like as much as we're all gonna die. I hope we do.
Okay. So where we ranking that? Just read out the rankings quickly.
Okay, so at the very bottom of the barrel, we've got women, and then at the above that we've got My Passion Thoughts, My Bride Alone, and
Fun.
then from above that we've got I'm a Capitalist. Above
Yeah.
that we've got When
Pharmacist.
Catwoman Slags Off Her Boss,
Yep.
and above that from Joker we've got I Do and I'm Tired of Pretending It's Not when it comes to
Yep.
just murdering people. Above that we've got Actually It Very Much Is Like That from Max Shrek.
Yep.
Above that we've got Bane saying Do You Feel in Control.
Yep.
Above that we've got from Amanda Waller, You Believe in Friendship, I Believe in Leverage. Above that, we've got I Didn't Ask from Jack Napier. Above that, in fourth place, we've got I Own This Hotel, from
Yep.
Dark
Done.
Knight. We've got Daily Planet. Do I own that one, or is that the other guy from Batman v Superman? We've got I'm Buying This Hotel from Batman Begins. And we've got I Bought the Bank
Bought the
from
bank.
Justice League.
Oh, the best fucking Sigma quote of all fucking time, man. Ben Affleck's Batman. Oh, I wish. Why couldn't they just have that? Would have made this film way better, man. Just a little Batman, little Ben Affleck
Yeah,
cameo,
they
man.
just
That would have
drag
made
him
me so
out
much
like,
happier. That would have made me so much happier, man. Like right at the end, like Amanda Waller turns around and Ben Affleck's like,
yeah,
"What?"
they're like, yeah, they're hatching a
He just
plan to
says,
kill
"Yeah,
all of them.
yeah." Um.
So where would this go? I think this goes below.
By the way, sorry. Just before we
Yeah,
rank it, I just want to because the Dark Knight reminded me TDK was the initials of the detachable kid,
yeah,
right? Who's like randomly, and it's just
a
like,
guy
yeah,
they kill.
that
Yeah,
was quite funny. Like, what the fuck, like, I guess.
yeah.
Apart from the fact I thought it might have been a serious villain that they used in this film, but obviously it was.
No, you seriously, this guy like that guy was
Well, you
like.
don't know at the moment. You're just like, I don't trust Warner. I don't trust
No,
the
but I can tell
creators. I don't
immediately.
trust
But this is
anyone
the
who
thing.
decided Suicide Squad needed remaking.
No, but this is the thing. When you look at this is just using like film logic in your brain, right? You just look at the poster, you can see who's on it, and you're like, then you see this like squad of like that Amanda Waller's like sending to like certain death.
Yeah,
You
but
see
Harley
like,
Quinn's
oh,
there,
yeah, I know, but
right?
then like that she's probably gonna survive, and so will fucking Rick Flag. But then you
Yeah,
see
this is
Pete
the thing,
Davidson.
man. No, no,
No, no, no. But
I
when it
don't
came to
trust
when it
them.
came to Pete Davidson, right, and Captain Boomerang, I wasn't so sure about. But as soon as I saw Pete Davidson, I'm like, yes, some and the Weasel man, guaranteed these people are gonna die, and they did. So I wasn't stressing.
I was
You were
nervous because
stressing. This is
I've
the
been
thing.
too scarred, man, by these fucking films. I'm looking at some of the films in front of us here, and the thumbs down tier, and I'm just like, nah, they don't deserve my trust, man. I was rightly skeptical. But anyway, let's rank the Sigma moment. So I
Yeah,
hope so. I would put that near the bottom. I'd probably put that above Catwoman slagging her boss off.
yeah, I would put that just below Joker saying I do, and I'm tired of pretending
Yeah,
it's not,
yeah,
because it's really funny, but it's not really a Sigma quote.
yeah. Well, it's like a wannabe Sigma quote almost.
Yeah, it's like yeah,
Like you can imagine Polka Dot Man in his cell, man, like watching Sigma comps, like oh, he's literally me. He's got drive on like on redial.
yeah,
He's like watching
exactly.
that like every day. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um. All right. Cool. And
when
where
it
are we
comes to
ranking?
film.
Where are we ranking the Suicide Squad on our tier maker?
Yeah, this has got to be the biggest contradiction between us, because I think this is not bad. You
So where would
hate
you
it.
put it?
Do you think it's better? Okay, I want to ask this. Do you think it's better than Suicide Squad, the first one? Which would you rather watch, to look at it that way? Because, like, come on, you got like that sick scene between it. You get John Cena's great fight and Idris Elba versus John Cena in this, and you know, a lot of good action scenes. And Idris Elba.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear that. But like, in Suicide Squad, I had Jared Leto's Joker, and I had Viola Davis, Amanda Waller, and I had a bit of Ben Affleck. So
But Ben Affleck's in it for 2 seconds.
yeah, but still, that just made the film better.
Nah. I would just go out here. I would just say I would put it below Batman Returns, because Like I
Mm.
remember rewatching Batman 69, sorry 66, and I was like, I can't rewatch this. Like it's recommended for people who like want to see some Batman history, but just see it once. And I
No,
think this is
no,
like,
I wouldn't put it in our recommended tier, man. I would not recommend this film for anyone to watch.
well,
And
I
I
think
probably
this is
would
like,
put it. I would. Yeah, the thing is, yeah, like Batman 66 is like renowned for having a dumb fucking shark gag in it. This film has that times 10. And that's not even the dumbest gag in it. You have a starfish, giant starfish with an eye in it. No, man, this is below Suicide Squad for me.
this is a film this is below the original Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
yeah.
Ah,
I
fuck
prefer
you.
because Jared Leto Joker and because Amanda Waller Davis.
Jared Leto's Joker like is fucking like he's got a stupid fucking laugh in it,
Yeah,
mind
but at
you.
least it was some. It's interesting, you know. It's like eye catching. It's I really don't care. I love Idris Elba, but I don't care about his character. I don't care about anyone in this film. Anyone. There's no one where I'm like, oh, I'm really interested to see where his character goes. I don't give a fuck about
Nah, I
anyone.
think
And
that's a
Amanda
new
Wallace is in it,
yeah.
but she's like belittled as well. So and she's not even in it that much. So you know.
What if yeah,
There's nothing in this
because
film for me. There's nothing at all. There's no Batman cameo. There's no Joker. There's no interesting characters. No interesting villains at all. It was just yeah. It had a cool couple fight scenes, but I can watch any
no,
film.
yeah, but this is the thing
That's
though.
like a standard
If you
in
had to
Hollywood.
sit, if I was like, if I held you at gunpoint and forced you to watch one of these films, which one would you pick?
Yeah, I've watched Suicide Squad for sure because
Well, then
yeah,
I pull the
there's
trigger.
more in it for me. It's got like it is worse overall, but it's got more highlights. It's got more
Nah,
interesting things for me to watch than this film. This is just
no,
me.
I would unironically rather hang myself or like, watch like get my fucking fingernails like peeled off by someone than watch that again. Yeah, like with a lot of these, we've had to make a compromise at some point. So I suggest putting it at the very bottom of the recommended tier.
No, I'll put it. I'll give it you if we put it at the top of the don't recommend. Are you seriously saying you would recommend this film to someone? You'd like, yeah, you should watch
Yeah,
this.
I think if you want to, maybe not for like Batman, obviously, because he's not in it. If you just want to watch a film, this is all right. It's like Batman 66. Fine, we'll put it at the top of the don't recommend.
Okay, so it's going here in front of Suicide Squad, below Batman 1966. So just for the audio viewers, audio listeners now. So our current rankings now: number one, The Dark Knight; number two, Dark Knight Rises; number three, Batman '89; number four, Batman Begins; number five, Joker; number six, Justice League; number seven, Batman vs Superman; number eight, Batman Returns; number nine, Batman '66. Then in the don't recommend tier, we've got the Suicide Squad, then Suicide Squad, then Batman Forever, then Catwoman, then Batman and Robin.
Yep. And got the biggest treat of all time coming up.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is what it's all built up to, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck me, man. We're gonna review the Batman next week. I am fucking gassed. I've like held off watching that film. I've watched that film 4 times,
I've seen it
and
once. I've really
yeah, I
held
saw it
it.
twice in cinema, twice at home, and I haven't watched it since we started this podcast because I knew I just have to build myself up to it and just like really, and I might even watch it twice this week. I love. Well, I don't want to give it away, man, but like I
You
can't
like this film?
fucking wait, man. This is what it's all built up to, ladies and gentlemen. So, any final words on the Suicide Squad?
I think I think you've done it, too harshly, minus the ending, which is admittedly shit. But I would say, if you've gone through the entire like recommended tier, you've gone obviously through, the double thumbs up. I think it wouldn't hurt to see this if you fancy
I
it.
think it would, and I've only put it where it is because of compromise. But I would sooner tell someone to watch Suicide Squad because at least you get a different Joker, and at least you get a bit of Batman action and a little bit of, and you get to see
You get a
Amanda
little bit of
Wallace
Will
like
Smith.
full. You know what do you get? What do you actually get in the Suicide Squad? What do you actually get?
You get to see Idris Elba versus
John
John
Cena.
Cena.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's a good scene, and also the fucking the fight between him and
Idris
with
Elba.
like
Yeah,
let's see
Idris
them
Elba.
children.
Yeah, Idris Elba is sick. To be fair, but again, I wouldn't recommend. I just what if you want to watch Idris Elba, watch Luther. Simple. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
but it's him and John Cena with each other. I love that bit. You
ah,
should, It's probably because you weren't invested in John Cena at all on this.
No,
I'm
I
just
wasn't really didn't care. He was just like whatever. I
yeah,
was pissed off
and
as
my
well.
opinion,
They credited
yeah.
Sylvester Stallone, and he's just playing this like audio distorted version of this shark, man. Like for fuck's sake.
Oh,
God.
I think in this case, I have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, yeah.
Send all
We'll
the
stop
hate
this
mail,
episode
James, as
now.
well. Thank you very much. So,
Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And join us next week for The Batman. Same bat time, same bat channel.